Hello everyone and welcome to this session of programming with Java. In this session we will see the iterative statement in Java programming language. So let's look at the objectives of our session. We will start by understanding what do we mean by while loop. Afterward we will see how do we perform the do while operation in Java, and in the end we will see the for loop. So to understand any looping statement, first we have to understand what do we mean by loop itself. So if you remember our first session, then there we used to print the hello world statement. So what we were doing is we first used the system class followed by the out stream followed by the println method defined within this system class, and within this system class we will writing hello world in the string format. And when we run this we get hello world in the output. Now suppose that we have to print the hello world string 5 number of times. Then what will we do is we will just copy this statement and we will print it 5 times. And if we run it again, we will get hello world 5 different times in our output. But this becomes very cumbersome when someone tells us that print hello world 1000 times or 10,000 times or even 1 lakh times. So it is not practically possible to just copy this statement and press Ctrl plus V 100 of times or 1000 of times to print the hello world statement that number of times. So every programming language provides us some kind of looping statement to perform the repetitive operation. So for example, here hello world is a repetitive operation because we are doing the same statement 5 number of times. We are printing hello world 5 different times. So this is an example of repetitive statement, and every programming language provides us some kind of repetitive loops or looping statement to perform these kinds of operations. Java specifically provides us 3 different kinds of looping statement. The first is while loop, the second is do while loop, and the third one is for loop. So let's understand them one by one in detail. The first is the while loop. Now while loop executes certain set of instruction till the looping condition remains true. So the general syntax of while loop is first we write the while keyword followed by the condition against which our loop will be performed, and within the braces we will write the body of the loop. So what does this all syntax mean? So let's understand this by an example. Suppose we have to print a number from from let's say I equals 0 to I equals 5. So what will we do is we will first write the while keyword followed by our looping statement. So let's say our I should always be less than 5 or always be less than 6, and if this condition is true then only our loop will perform. So we will say that system dot out dot println I. Now the while loop is performed till the certain condition remains true. So every time if we have designed I is equals to 0 or we have declared I as a 0 value, then this condition will always be true because 0 will always be less than 6. So we have to update the value of I every time our loop is performed. So we will say that I is equals to I plus 1, that is every time the looping operation is performed our value gets updated by a value of 1, so that in the next step I becomes 1 and it will be checked against this condition, and since 1 is less than 6, so our statement will be performed again and our value will be updated again till this condition remains true. So if I divide this whole step into 6 different processes, so I will write first step, second step, third step, fourth step, fifth step and sixth step. So in the first step I is equals to 0, the while loop will check the condition that if I is less than 6 or not. Now I is less than 6 because 0 is less than 6. So hello world will be printed on the screen and I will be updated to I plus 1. The current value of I is 0 and 0 plus 1 will become 0, so I will become 1. Now in the second step of our loop I will be checked against the value of 6. Now 1 is always less than 6, so it is a true condition. So hello world will be again printed on the screen and I will be updated to I plus 1, that is I will become 2. Similarly 2 will be again checked against the condition 2 is less than 6, that is true, so condition gives a true output. So 2 is less than 6, hello world will be printed, I will become 3. 3 will be again checked against 6 and 3 is less than 6, so condition is true. Hello world will be printed upon screen and I will become 4. Similarly 4 will be checked against 6, hello world will be printed and I will become 5. 5 will be checked against 6, hello world will be printed and 5 will become 6. But in the 7th step, when 6 will be checked against the 6, then 6 is not less than 6, 6 is actually equals to 6. So this condition of I should be always less than 6 becomes false. And when the looping condition of while becomes false, our loop get terminated. Now it is very important for loop to get terminated, because if loop will not get terminated, then loop will run for infinity and our system will crash. So for example, if we will remove this I equals I plus 1 updating condition, then our value which was 0 in the first place will always be remain 0 and it will be always less than 6, so our loop statement will run forever. So let's head over to Eclipse and see how can we perform this programmatically. So if I remove all of this, we will first declare a integer, that is I, and give it a value of let's say 0. Afterward, we will write the while keyword followed by the space and condition, that is I should be less than 6, and followed by the looping statement or the body of our loop, that is we have to print system.out println hello world, and after printing hello world, our value gets updated to I plus 1, that is I will become I plus 1. Now we can also replace this whole statement by using the plus plus sign method. So we will just write I plus plus, it has the same meaning, that I equals I plus 1, and we will end this by semicolon to avoid any kind of error. Now if I run this, then I will get output in which hello world is printed 6 numbers of time, and without writing the system.out.println hello world 6 numbers of time, we are performing this repetitive operation. So this is how we perform looping operation in Java. In the next session, we will see what are the do while looping statement in Java programming language. Thank you.